Go for it. I'll just wait for more people to come on. We got Arlene, Jenny. Hello. Patty's on. Can you scroll? I like to see how many people are coming on, so I know when to start. Oh, we got a good crowd today. Brenda, I think Friday. That's the show.
Friday. Yep.
Yeah. Well, Gloria will be on at 3, so
yes,
we're not the only people on.
Yeah. How's everyone doing today? It's a happy Friday, so it's a little gloomy out here. Just a little bit of rain, but I'm curious, how's the weather doing where everyone's at? So
Soggy high. Okay. I guess we can get started.
Yeah, so
this is a lot of people.
Real quick, if you're new here, welcome to Gloria Horn Sewing Studio. So we're located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we just got back from our spring event last week. I know a lot of you guys attended. We had a lot of fun. Tommy and I, we had a class where we decorated a denim jacket using the Brothers ScanNCut and some really cool embroidery machines. And today we're going to show that. So
yeah, if you watched the show last night, you saw me decorate this. Should we decorate this more? We might even decorate this more.
We want more. I feel like I don't have anything. I'm wearing the jacket, I think.
Yeah. But if you're new here, you're watching on Facebook, you can register with us by typing in the comments register, and that will prompt you to a screen where you're going to set up an account with us. We have an app on the App Store called Gloria Horn Sewing Studio, and it's also on the Google Play Store. Yeah, that's if you want to buy from us. I mean, we give free lessons every single day practically, just not Sunday. That's our day off. We give free lessons, and we're excited to show you about the ScanNCut today. We don't really know what we're just winging it. And you know what? I always say that I'm going to be a quick demo, a quick live video, and I always take like 2.5 hours. So I'm not going to say that today because I do want to be quick. Yeah, what should we start with? I guess that's the question. So we have our Tommy John spring event design USB in the bubble, right? Yep. So sold 100, and now we're going to go over what is exactly on here. We might be adding things to this flash drive before we send them out today. We can also go about getting on Canvas Workspace and showing you how to do these activation codes for Rhinestone designs. So you don't need the activation code to make Rhinestone designs. These have how many designs, John? You know better than me.
It is right
25. 25 Rhinestone designs. And we'll get to that product in a bit. We do have a kit sold 101, and that is a Rhinestone and heat transfer vinyl starter kit where you get 30 grams of rhinestones, 3 different colors. You get 8 slices, 8 strips of this awesome heat transfer vinyl that is glitter that I have all over. You see my ketchup bottle, my mustard, and best flippin' dad.
And we got it right here on the jacket too.
Yep. And this is turn around again. So this will also be on the jacket. It's an embroidery design that we used at the event, and you're going to get this in 3 different sizes, I believe. And then we're going to also show you how to take your embroidery design on the ScanNCut, maybe cut out your fabrics before you start to embroider, and we're going to do the chenille star finally. Mm-hmm. I'm nervous about it because I've never done it before, and I digitized it, so I think it's going to work, but we're about to find out.
Yes, and this is a little preview of the chenille star. So after our show, you're going to come right back on and watch Gloria of IQ Designer. So she's going to be showing the pillow that she did at the event. So
3 o'clock.
Yep, right at 3 o'clock.
And she's going to be showing it on the Radiance first. Now, I know she was talking about next week doing it on the lower model machines, like the Altair,
Meridian, Destiny.
Mm-hmm. Anything that has IQ Designer. And that's along with the brother machines, too. You'll be able to follow along with my design center. Now, let's get to it. What should I start with? Should I start with Canvas Workspace? Should I start with loading the embroidery design? I have no clue.
I say...
What do you all want to see? What do you want to see? Do you want to see me install Canvas Workspace on Kate's computer and upload Rhinestone designs that you purchased from Brother? Or Yes, Amy, it's SS10 is the size Rhinestone. Or do you want to see? We're gonna show them no matter what. I'm just wondering, what should I start with? I don't even know where to start. We're kind of winging it.
Why don't we show maybe canvas first?
Okay.
Get the text side stuff out of the way, and then we all have fun.
Okay,
right after.
let's do that.
We cut out.
So, quick thing, Kate's gonna shift her computer so it's landscape mode. And what you're gonna do, if you're watching like this, you're gonna tilt your phone and watch like that. You might have to swipe the comments out of the way. And yes, Jan, we're gonna see what's on the USB currently, but I'm still adding things to it. I'm still adding the instructions, and I'm gonna print out some instructions for you to follow along with too. And there's also gonna be PDF instructions. So you know exactly what you're getting on your USB and how to use it and what it's for. Okay? So let's head over there. Okay, so we should be looking at Google right now. I don't know if anything's cut out. Do you think I have to get rid of the bubble?
Probably.
Okay, I'm going to try to... Let me know if I get rid of this bubble. Someone let me know if it's not on, or if it's on and it's in your way. Just shout out in the comments. I might size this down just a little. Just so we're sure that we could see. Okay, so now I'm on Google. Doesn't matter what browser you want to type in. I'm going to type in Brother Canvas Workspace. Okay? Now they do have a web version that you don't have to install it to your computer, but I found that if you have the Rhinestone, I feel like they limit certain features on that one. So it'll even tell you here. So you can see canvasworkspace.brother.com is where you want to go. Oh, important information. So there's updates here that let you know what exactly they're adding to it, what it's capable of. Now I want to install it. So let's go ahead and go back. How to install Canvas Workspace. Okay, it's not that one. Maybe they're not letting us install it right now. Maybe I have to log in. So, oh, here it is. It's right here. It says Canvas Workspace, and it says download software. Okay, well, you're looking for this. So I'm on canvasworkspacebrother.com. canvasworkspace.brother.com. Okay, let's download this software. So it says download software. I'm going to go ahead and click it. We're also in Espanol, so I don't know why that happened, but that's okay. So you have to register your machine, I believe. So I know what machine are we working with? The SDX 325. Let's do that one. So you go select your machine. You're going to select what operating system your computer is. If you're using Windows or Mac, I believe we're using Windows and Windows 11. It's going to tell you, please agree to this things. And I'm sure there's people who read these. I never read them. But I'm just going to go ahead and agree. And how to install. It's going to tell you how to install. Now, it downloaded automatically whenever I agreed to that. And you can see it popped up in the bubble right here. Now, if you didn't see it pop up, there is a way to reach your downloads on the browser. But another way to get to that is going to your File Explorer, or if you go to Finder in your Mac. And you're going to go look for downloads. And I can see Canvas Workspace Setup. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on that. And if I'm going too fast, you can re-watch these videos later, and you could pause it and slow down and go along with me. So don't worry about how fast I'm going. This might be a little hard to do along with me. I just want to show you exactly how it's done. Do you want to allow the app to make changes to your device? Well, yeah, I want it to install to my computer. So we'll see how long this takes to install. Oh, it's on my other screen. So it will open up like this. Welcome to Brother Canvas Workspace Setup Wizard. Okay, we'll click Next. This is just where the destination that Canvas Workspace is going to be installed. Picture gone.
It's good.
It's good? Okay, so this programs file folder is usually where things get automatically installed whenever you're installing software, I like to keep them there. Okay? So we're just going to keep it there, click Next. To continue, click Next if you like to select a different folder. No. And we're going to click Install. So Next, 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 Install. And you can see it's just a short amount of time until everything is set up. And then I'll have to put in our login information, which hopefully I can remember the password. Now it says it's finished installing. That was quick. Let's launch Brother Canvas Workspace. We'll click Finish. And it's telling me I need to install something else. So I have to install this thing. Really quick. So on my other screen it said you have to install this in order to run Canvas Workspace on your computer. I said okay, I'll install it. Please don't infect my computer with a virus. But I haven't had problems with Canvas Workspace or viruses or anything, so everything's good. I'm just going to listen to what Brother's telling me to do, and I'm going to install these things to my computer. Oh, we're black.
It was just whenever those things pop up with like the admin, like.
Oh, okay.
From...
So sensitive information, it's blocking from your view. So don't worry about the screen going black sometimes. Okay. Now to open it, right? It wanted me to open it. It didn't do it automatically. Maybe I need to go set it back up again. Should be here. There we go. It's installed. New feature, added the duplicate function. That's great. So now we can do duplicates. I'm just going to take it over the other screen here and use my login. Do you know what the login is, John? I believe.
For email.
I got it. First try.
Perfect.
No biggie. Remember the username and everything. So if you do create an account and you don't have an account already, make sure you write your passwords down. But now it's going to open up Canvas Workspace, and I'll go full screen here. Can everyone see that just fine? Now, when you first open up Canvas Workspace, it's going to give you a bunch of pattern collections of different things you can do with a ScanNCut. And it's instruction tutorials. It's going to take you through step by step in completing these. They have tons and tons of projects to do. You'll never run out with the ScanNCut.
There's
Okay.
so many cool things you could do with the ScanNCut. We've only like scratched the surface with what we've shown.
Dime's cut and stitch software. You can design, create endless possibilities, and it cut any designs, and then we'll have a try. Yep, we'll definitely try that out, Marianne. We'll go over with everyone. Dime software. I love Dime and OESD. I guess they're both the same. They're kind of the same now. They're partner now.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so what we have here is Brother Canvas Workspace. Now, if you bought a design, I'm just trying to make this fit on your phones so you can see it a little better. It might be hard to see. Do you think, is anyone having, what'd I do? Screen capture. Okay, so what I want to do is just, I'm making my cursor bigger for them. Do you think it will work, Kate?
Yeah, it should.
Okay. You have to type in mouse. Mouse settings. So don't worry about doing this. I mean, you might want to, Sorry, Kate, I'm really screwing with your settings. There has to be a size.
Mouse pointer and touch at the bottom.
Oh, there we go. Let's make this big.
But it might not even change it for them.
We'll see. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Oh, okay, I see. Okay, that will work. It changed it for them, I think. No, it didn't. Okay, that didn't work. Big fail. Let's just, we'll try that again.
What made it?
Oh, why am I so slow now?
You changed the speed.
Oh
All the way
my,
down.
what is going on? Kate, help me. Okay, my mouse speed is really slow. Do you remember what it was at? That's good. That's good. But you can't see what I'm seeing. I have a big giant mouse on my screen, and I don't like it. So I'm going to turn it down. Okay. Okay, back to the information about Canvas Workspace. Now, if you want to upload a certain code that you have using Canvas Workspace, you can go click this Help in the top left corner. Okay? You'll click Help, and then I'll go to Account Settings. Account Settings, and here it will show me my account settings. If I want to unlock these rhinestone designs, here, let's put this on the table. Let's show them the rhinestone designs. So John is at the table here.
So what we have here is the Brother Rhinestone collection. So there's 25 rhinestone cut file designs right here on this card. And I have one set aside here. I'm not going to show the code because somebody might beat us to typing it in. But Tommy's going to go ahead and show how you could type that in real quick. So
Yep, hand it to me, John. Oh, there it is.
one.
You did. Okay, so that's the specific code that we're going to be unlocking, and I'm going to put it in the bubble. Well, maybe I shouldn't do the bubble yet. Okay, I'll tell you which one it is. Which one is it? Do you see it?
It is
129.
Sold 129 for those rhinestone designs, and we have plenty in stock. So we're going to go to pattern collection activation. Is this going to activate it for me, John, or did you already use it?
I did not use that one
Okay,
yet,
so no one try to beat me on this. But I'm going to go ahead and use this one because I want to see what rhinestone designs they have. I'm being really slow. It'd be funny if someone beat me to it.
If you guys beat us to it, I'm not going to blame you. Do you guys remember?
Okay, ready? Let's click activate. Ta-da! It says activation code worked. Rhinestone design collection has been activated. You want to activate it, and you can only do it with one account. Okay, so I'm going to click activate. Click to activate. There we go. Let's go see what these bad boys look like. So now once you activate it, you're going to go to your Canvas Workspace screen, and I'm going to go over to the left-hand side here and look for this rhinestone. And if you hover over these different buttons, it's going to tell you what they do. It says rhinestone. I don't see them. Where are they? Maybe it's activated on my ScanNCut. Well,
Do you think maybe you have to like close out?
maybe. I'm going to close out and open it back up and see if they pop up. Did you see where they come?
It should load.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to close out, load it back up, and see if we have new rhinestone designs. No.
Is this the same account that you...
Activated my rhinestone activation thing?
Yes.
Yes, it is. So I'm not seeing the rhinestone designs. And that could be because I have the rhinestone activation card set up, or I'm just not going to the right place to find them.
Is there a collections page?
This would be the collections page, right? Maybe that's the designs. Maybe you get the same designs with the activation card. So these are the designs.
I think those are.
These are the designs. Okay, look how cool these
They're
designs
just kind of
are.
mixed in since we had the previous one.
Yeah, I think they are mixed in. So I had the previous one. This might be all of them, though. You know, like with only the activation card, you get a certain amount. How many are there? Did all these letters count as 20? You know, like maybe this is what I got with the activation card. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have way more because I had the activation card. So I can't exactly tell you which ones you're going to get here. But these are rhinestone designs. Now I could take this rhinestone design, load it onto here. You can't change their sizes. It looks like this one is sized for SS10. but I could go ahead and take these rhinestone designs and cut them out by exporting it to a flash drive. So I'll delete this one. Let's take this heart here. I'm going to take the heart. I'm going to click File, then Export Transfer FCM file. Export FCM file. Now you also have the option to connect it through the internet. So is that, maybe the ScanNCut's hooked up to the internet. Let's try it that way. Processing. It says the registered machine is ready to download the transfer file from the internet. Okay, so that must be the correct thing. I'm going to go back up to my ScanNCut and show you where that design loaded. Okay, so I'm hoping this is the right ScanNCut. We might have another ScanNCut turned on somewhere. Is this a good angle, Kate?
Yeah.
Like that, or do you think even more?
I thought
That.
that's good.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the Home tab. I'm going to go to Retrieve Data, and it should be in this cloud pocket here. It's not connected to the internet. So I must have a different ScanNCut on, but that's okay. So if you want to connect it to the internet, you have to hit your Wi-Fi symbol and then do the setup wizard, and it will search for the networks in your area. And I can see Gloria Horn Sewing Academy. Maybe this one's already saved. And it should connect to your internet. It might ask you to type in the password. If it's going to ask me to type in the password, I'm just going to skip this part. And we're going to move on to cutting some things out and going over what's on the flash drive right now. And how much time have I taken up already? Let's see. Only about a half hour, right? Yep, we're good. Now, it looks like this is taking too long to connect. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to cancel it. I'm going to turn this off. It says shutting down. And I'm going to turn it back on. We're not going to waste time today with connecting things we don't need to connect. But normally, if you uploaded it via the internet, same way you do with your machines, and I'll wake my screen up, I'll hit OK. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Retrieve Data to see that. So you look for this cloud with a pocket that's just saying you sent it over the cloud, send it over the internet. And this one is for a USB cable. It's going to say you don't have a USB cable plugged in. So let's see what's on our flash drive. I'm going to plug my flash drive in. And I'm going to click on the flash drive. Oh, could you?
Yes, sorry.
You're fine. So if you missed that, I just went to Retrieve Data with my flash drive plugged in, and I clicked on the flash drive. Now, Tommy John Event Designs is a folder that you're going to click on. Let's see the rhinestone designs on here. There's 5 rhinestone designs. 2 go along with the embroidery for the 8x8 embroidery design. Well, this one goes with the 8x8 embroidery design, and we'll have this labeled in the instructions. And this goes with the 3.5 by 3.5 star chenille star that we're going to be cutting out today. And these are rhinestone designs. And also you get a cool looking flower. So this will fit on those 6x6 sheets that are in your Tommy John rhinestone starter kit, and those 6x6 rhinestone flock sheets where you would cut them out. Should we cut one out?
Yes.
Let's cut one out. So let's do this one. I'm going to click OK. Okay. I'm going to get my mat. Yeah, let's move this. I'm going to get my mat, and we're going to grab a piece of that rhinestone flock.
And then at the end, we're actually going to revisit that Canvas workspace. So if you go online and log in, not with downloading, you can access that collection. And I'll show everybody how to do that. So
yeah, that will work. So this flock has a kind of like a papery back. Now, whenever I cut them all out for the event, even on a new mat, when I put this right side up, I didn't seem to have a problem. But then we found out at the event, it actually makes things a lot easier to clean up if I put this right side down. So I think I'm going to try the right side down.
And you could use a little bit of paper tape to hold it down.
Yes, yes. Which would be nice to have. Paper tape, surgical tape, paper tape, masking tape probably would work too. Kathy took it. She's taken our things. She's
setting us up. She knew that we had the best class, Tommy.
Yeah. They were jealous. No, everyone had an amazing class, so it was hard to compete and have a contest when everyone just showed up and did so well with their classes. But I have this loaded on my mat, right side down. I'm going to load it into the machine, and let's see. I want to do it upside down. So I have the arrow going in first. There's two markings right there. I can see my flocks kind of coming up. Might work better with the fabric mat. But I'm going to give this a shot. We learn from our mistakes. So I'm going to come up to the screen, and I have my mat loading button on the screen here. So I'm going to click that once, and I'm going to load it. I can even put my hand here to make sure that things are staying nice and smooth. But that's okay. I'm going to come back to this and even smooth it out before we start cutting. So now this is a ScanNCut. I always use my scanning button. And that's the big part about the ScanNCut. You can scan your image from the mat and put it right on the screen. So how we do that is we go right underneath Edit. We find our scanning button. And for those of you that don't have a ScanNCut and you may be interested in a ScanNCut, same thing with learning a new machine and just getting used to where the buttons are and what they do. I know they're not labeled, but there's not too many buttons that you have to remember to learn. But it's going to go ahead and scan. And remember, I have that white side up. So it might give me some difficulty in my placement because, you know, the mat is white and the paper is white. But you can see if you zoom in on my screen, Kate, you can kind of see where the grid marks end, okay? And that's all we're really looking for. And it might be hard to see with this camera, but I could tell. And there's also grid marks. There's grid marks on the mat that you could use. Like if we look at my mat and I see these grids, see the grid marks? If I turn off my background image, so come back to the screen, I'll click on this wrench. Oh, and that could be a problem. I was semi-transparent. So let's try to turn up the full color. So you have full color, you have semi-transparent, and then you can turn your background image off. So I'm going to try full color first and see how that works. Much better. So I can at least see, yeah, that looks really good. So I can see I'm kind of coming off the edge on one side. So I do want to scoot it over, but it's going to be hard to click and drag that over. So I'm going to go to the edit screen. I'm going to zoom in first. Press that magnifying button to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in to 200%, and I'm going to really line it up and make sure that everything's looking good. So here's my move key in the top right-hand corner, and here's my page down key. So I could page down my mat and see what's on the bottom of my mat, or I could just keep it here. I could also rotate it. Jenny's right. I could rotate it. Does it come with an instruction book? Yeah, the ScanNCut?
So the ScanNCut does come with an instruction book that goes over basic operations. And while Tommy's setting this up, I actually did want to briefly mention this. So there also is the brother app Artspira, which is free to download, and then there's a subscription-based one too that unlocks premium designs. And it works with all of Brother's embroidery machines, their ScanNCuts, and also, print modas and the sublimation printer. And there's tons and tons of different designs. But if you hook up your ScanNCut to the internet, and then if you connect it to your account up in the top corner, and the same with their embroidery machines. I know I'm not going to be connected to this one, I believe. So you would tap connect, or maybe I am.
No, because mine's not on the internet. Someone has a ScanNCut on somewhere.
It might be the one in the store.
Might be.
But you could even go to cutting designs, and then you could pick out, there's paid ones, there's free ones. With the premium subscription, I always recommend to get it because you get full access to all of their premium designs other than Disney, but you get a big discount on the Disney designs. But let's say we went to celebrations, and then these are all different cutting files, and they even give really fun projects like this floral card where it goes over all the different cut designs. You would just hit create, and then it downloads and it would transfer to your machine. So definitely check
Oh, cool.
out
It even has the mat
Artspira.
there. And you select your cutting machine.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And it gives you a step-by-step guide of everything. They have so many fun projects on there. So, like I said, we have really only just scratched the surface with the ScanNCut with things that we've shown. So, but a lot of you guys seem really interested, so we'll start to show it a little bit more.
Okay. So yeah, I know a lot of you have these ScanNCuts and want to learn how to use them. So back to this cutting. So if you look at my screen, everything's looking good. I have this positioned pretty close to the edge. I know it's hard to tell from the camera, but it is pretty close to the edge. But I believe it's going to work. Okay? I'm going to click OK on my screen to get out of these edit screens. So I'll hit OK, and then OK again, and then OK again, because I'm ready to start cutting. Now, some people get nervous when they get to this screen for the please select. And when you hit please select, you're like, oh no, I wasn't ready to cut. I think I have to look at it again. No big deal. You can click cut, and it's just going to say processing, and that's okay. I could go back a screen again, okay? So I'll go back, and you can see it's just fine. So I'll have to do the same thing if I enter back to this screen. I have to select cut because we are cutting. Now, I have half cut on. I do not want half cut on. So half cut needs to be turned off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the wrench. I'm going to click down a page, and at the top you'll see half cut. Now half cut is for only cutting things if you want to cut through one layer of something and keep it on a carrier sheet. And we'll go over that with the vinyl that we have too. So I'm going to select off and then OK. Now my settings should read, it says 6 minutes to cut. So we'll have to, John will have to do a dance for you while this is cutting it. But 6 minutes to cut this, pressure auto, speed 5, half cut off. Let's go ahead and click start. And I'm going to smooth this out. I'm going to double check it. I'm probably could have went paper side down, and that would have worked. Even the low tack mat, maybe since it is paper on the back of this, could have worked. But I like to just risk it. I risk it, and we'll see if it turns out well.
And so I saw a couple other people mention about doing the regular side down. We like this way, and we're going to show you why. So you do have these weeding tools that are sold separate, which I know I have the other one in the tray in here, and I don't want to grab it while it's cutting. But if you cut it the regular way, you have to go through and fish out all those little circles that it's going to cut for the rhinestones. This way, and we're going to show you in a few minutes here, you just lift off and it takes most of those little circles out, and you can just scrape those over the trash can. It's a little faster this way. So also, if Tommy could sign in online real quick to your Canvas Workspace account, and I could show them the designs here. So if you sign in online, outside of it downloaded on your computer.
I'm going to take this out of the screen so they can't copy or log it.
We'd be like, who's using our account over here?
Okay. What is the password? Am I logged in?
Did it log in?
No. Where'd it go?
Also, we are able to offer that hoop for the last day at that price. So we will put that in. We talked about that last night. So.
Okay, we're logged in.
Okay.
Take it away, John. Or do you want to instruct me? It doesn't matter. You take it.
So I'll just show real quick. So we activated that Rhinestone collection card a little bit ago. And I also do want to point this out. Artspira is an amazing app. So if you do have a brother machine like the 3550 or ScanNCut, definitely check it out. There's so many different designs and projects on there. So it's really cool. Now, if we are signed in on the web and we go to pattern collection, and then we could see I have the Rhinestone design activated here. Because see how it says all the different other ones are not activated? But we did activate that Rhinestone design. So if we hit show all, and there we go. Here's all the different designs that you get in that one. Now, some I recognize, but I was looking for the cactus one specifically, and I didn't see it. So this is where you could get those from, and it just shows all the different beautiful designs. So, and the peacock one is really cool, and the butterfly. And see how it layers these different rhinestones in different colors. So that's just where you can access that pattern collection at. I just wanted to show you guys that because I was like, oh, it looks a little different. And we had a bunch of different ones loaded in from the original starter kit. So it was a little harder to see. And I was like, oh, I couldn't tell. So, but that's where you can access those at. But yeah, so that brings us back over here.
John, do you know where the rhinestones are?
Yes, I do.
Okay, can you grab me some, you pick the color.
Okay.
Red, blue, whatever.
And could we go ahead and put that price in?
So it is cutting out. It says 2 minutes left. It is peeling up a little bit, so I would have preferred to have paper tape. Oh, Donna, it was sideways because to show a computer screen's landscape view, yeah, full page of viewing, to have it on the phone, and for you to see everything, you have to tilt your phone. So sorry, you might have gotten a little sick watching us there for a second.
All right, but now we're back on track. So here's the rhinestones, and I cut out a little piece of foam board. So what we did at the event, and if you're gonna use the same template over and over and over again, and I lost our little easy bake oven cookie sheets that we went and had to keep all the rhinestones in. So we'll just do it on a table here. But we're gonna show you how we can place that sticky side down of that flock on this, and we could just easily reuse it. It's a little easier to do it this way.
Now I want on a laptop. She's on a laptop and she was trying to view it from our website.
You can just go on to YouTube.
Yeah, you could have went on YouTube. That's okay. Now, on our screens here, if you had any problems going on with the cuts or anything, and you're like, oh no, I'm ruining my material, there is a pause button. But sometimes it's too late. If you don't have your finger like right there ready on the pause button, most of the time you're too late. But that's okay. We are going to unload our mat because everything cut out perfectly.
And I do want to stress this. So don't ever pull out the mat or force it out unless it's like misaligned and it won't unload by itself. Make sure that you use the mat load in and load out button. That's really important to do because otherwise you could damage your machine. So
you ready for this?
It's done cutting, make sure you hit that button. And look at this.
Boom, rhinestone design.
So
I'm just gonna shake this out. Sorry, whoever has to clean this up.
Or you could use the lint roller too.
You can use
Tommy's shaking them all on me.
Yeah,
see this?
I just like to poke them out. I'm just poking out the final holes that may have not fallen out. But you can see I got a cool star that I could, or a cool, not a star, a flower, and this is from Gam's Garden. So same flower from Gam's Garden, my embroidery design set. We could go ahead and place this on the poster board. Where's that garbage can? The reason why we did it this way is because see how they all peeled off on the mat? And it might be a little more for you to clean up, but if I had a garbage can, you pull that garbage can out here. I'm just gonna scrape them into the garbage can. Probably get most of them on the floor. But that's why you have to get a Simplicity vacuum cleaner.
And you know, if you had a little piece of paper tape that you put it on, it won't hurt the mat as long as you're not covering the black part here. But yeah, we just found it was a little easier to do it this way rather than going in and poking out all of these individually. That would just take forever. So we are a little bit about speed here sometimes too, and just what's ever easiest. So that's why we said, oh, let's do it this way, and then just boom, most of them come out, and it's a lot less tedious per se.
But for those of you who have done rhinestones and you had to strategically place them one by one to do a cool design, this is going to solve all your troubles, okay? And I'll show you why. So this is a special flock material, and it's on that paper sheet. It's actually a sticker. So the one side is like a felt material, and then on the other side, it's sticky. So I'll go ahead and peel this apart. And you can see it's a little sticky on the one side. It looks like I missed one of these pulling it out. That's okay, I'll just peel it off. But I'm going to go ahead and put this on my poster board. Why does it look crooked? Maybe I did rotate it. Did I rotate it? No, I cut it like this. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on my poster board. I'm going to take a little bit of my rhinestones. What color should we do? Red, blue? Are we missing a dot? I think all the dots are. I think we got them. Should we do red? Red flower. Now we could have split this design apart. I like to do it all one color because that just is easy for me. But I'm going to go ahead and pour it, and that looks like, you know, about half the rhinestones you're going to get in one of the bags. And I'm going to go ahead and spread this around, okay? What I like to do is I like to take my pile, and I like to just brush it where I see the open spots. So I take my pile, and I'm just going to brush it where I see open spots. Now what's really nice about these rhinestone brushes that come inside your kit is that if I'm brushing over the ones that are already placed, they're not going to move. That template kind of grabs that flat edge of the rhinestone and doesn't allow them to move. Now I can see right here, I have one that's flipped over, okay? Right here. Okay, so watch what happens whenever I brush over it. It takes it away, okay? And now I can brush my pile over that part, and it's going to place one in there. And I use little circle motions. You kind of find your own technique. I just found this one works the best for me. And I'm going to go ahead and keep placing these. Now, you look at this design and you would think, oh, that's not that many rhinestones. It's over 100 rhinestones. This might even be 150 rhinestones, which is a lot.
Can we talk about how therapeutic this is, though? Brushing the rhinestones.
Yeah, it does. It's really satisfying just getting them in the place and having them stay in. And you can see one fell out because it was upside down. I'll just take my brush and brush that over. I can brush some of these off to the side, but I might need more rhinestones than that. I'm just going to slowly brush around, lightly brush. I'm not applying too much pressure or anything. And this, you do need to get used to this because you're afraid that you're going to knock the ones out of place that, you know, you want to stay there, but it's kind of hard to. Unless you're putting a lot of pressure on it, you're not going to knock them out. And there's nothing sticky holding onto these. So like I said, it's grabbing the flat edge of that rhinestone and keeping it within that template. And this is a very fine bristled brush, and it would just grab the ones that are loose.
Everybody's like, what are you guys doing? Because we're making those kits. I'm like, we're making kits for our flag pillow. And
it looks like I got everyone in. Does anyone see one that is missing? You like our flower, Kathy?
What? Oh my goodness, look at you!
Yeah, so cool flower. And how long did that take me, you guys? Like 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
I know. Look at that.
I'm impressed.
I need to borrow this.
So I have this here. Now I can take my transfer tape and transfer it onto a piece of transfer tape. So I have transfer tape here. Let's see, is that big enough? That looks big enough. I could even cut it more, save some transfer tape. You can reuse this transfer tape. So it is good for multiple uses. I'm going to move this trash can back here. So now I'm going to take my transfer shape, use a baking sheet to keep all the rhinestones. Yeah, I agree. So I don't know where our cookie sheets went. Someone's trying to bake a bunch of cookies, I guess, and took them home. But I'm going to go ahead and place my transfer sheet sticky side down. So the sticky side is grabbing these rhinestones. So I just dropped it down. Now this is important too. Sometimes you drop it down and you might make a mistake and accidentally move them or shift them. That's okay. I can kind of take my fingers, and I could see one right here. I could take my fingers and just use my fingernail to readjust them. You can use tweezers. But I just want to make sure that I brush my hand over all these rhinestones and they're all gripping onto that sticky side of the transfer tape. Okay? Now, I could peel this off. Should we put it on the blue apron? Or should
Why not?
Or should we put it on the jacket?
Let's put it on the apron, because we need another, or maybe a jacket.
Let's put it on the bottom of the apron. So
like
you can see
that.
I'm just peeling up here and they're all coming off. Now, if I had one that wasn't coming off, I could just set it back down and it would fall right into place, okay? Well, I'm going to take this one, just slowly peel it off, and you can see I have all my rhinestones right there, okay? And you could use all these rhinestone designs to cut out these templates. It's very easy, very quick to do once you get used to it. Watch this video again, see what I'm doing. But now the iron's on, it's hot. So
let's move. I'll move the ScanNCut out of the way.
Okay, yeah, you move the ScanNCut.
It doesn't hurt to hold on to this sheet with two hands, because if it folds in on itself, then I don't want to say you're losing all the hard work that you did, but
it's best to use the Teflon sheet on top of the design when ironing onto a garment. Yeah, and we do have Teflon sheets. Just I don't think we have them here right now. Yeah, so
and I give a little pre-press real quick, and then wherever you think.
Yeah, and I think, okay, so this is the top. I think maybe if we tilt it a little, no, let's keep
I like it in the corner. That's
yeah,
really
I think
cool.
just in the corner. We could line the whole bottom with like different ones, you know?
Oh my gosh, you could do big ones in the corners.
We could
and
do
then, like little ones.
Red, white, and blue. If you need a cooking apron for your cookout, or you're making a casserole for 4th of July or something.
And there's so much stuff you could do with rhinestones. Gloria said last night Ruth Ann did a quilt with rhinestones. So imagine doing your quilt blocks with rhinestones.
Okay, so I am not using a Teflon sheet. I apologize. Some of you this might make upset. But I'm not using a Teflon sheet. All I'm going to do, I'm going to use a regular iron too, our cool 360 Panasonic iron. I'm just going to find a section here, and I'm just going to lay it flat, and I'm just going to hold it medium pressure for about 30 seconds, okay? And then I'm going to pick it straight up. I'm not pushing these aside, and I'm just going to pick it up and press it down on the other spot too. But doing these rhinestones are so much fun. And let's go ahead. I think that's good enough to press. I notice when you heat the red ones up, they like change color when you're heating them up. They're like a little darker, but then when they cool down, they go back. So these are very good rhinestones. They don't melt like those cheap chintzy rhinestones that you can get from Amazon.
We got the really nice glass head ones, and then there's like cheap plastic head ones, which I don't recommend, because I did test with those before and they melted on me. I was like, oops, all right.
So now we're going to go ahead and peel this up. Is it hard to see on the camera, Kate? But it's not going to be when we start peeling this up, I think. So I'm going to start peeling it up. And same thing like whenever we were picking up the rhinestones. If you see any that did not fuse down, I could set this back down and it would fall right back into place. But I think I heated it up just enough.
Oh my gosh, look at that. The red with the blue.
Yeah, maybe we could get it in better light so they could see it. In person, this looks awesome. See that? And it's just, I mean, it's even subtle too. Like,
Look at
look
that.
how cool that is.
That is so amazing. So I think everybody needs to bedazzle something every now and then.
Yeah, and Karen, we're going to go over, so your brother's starter kit, we could definitely get you the dime one if you're interested in that. We're going to go over what's exactly in all of those and what's in ours. So you might even want to buy ours.
You might want ours. I saw a couple people mention it earlier. So.
Yeah. Cool there. Now, let's do the chenille design. But do you want to talk about that hoop that we have?
Yes.
Really quick?
Last night when I pulled this up, the price went back to regular. And so this is going to be the last day that you could get it at this price, which if Kate, if you could just remind me real quick, $239. So we're extending the event special.
And how much is it normally?
It's over, what, $600?
$600 hoop for what?
$239.
Okay.
And today is also the last day that you could get 10% back.
Are you sure? We always say that.
Well,
Gloria, you never know. Maybe here she, I mean.
At least I know for this week. So, but it does not hurt to get one of these. And I'm going to show you guys how to hoop one of the jacket backs and how to mark the center back real quick in a second too. But then we're going to do the chenille design. We do have instructions for the center back star that we did for the event. But I'm just going to show how to hoop it and just how to like line it up real quick because that's the important part. And then the rest is really simple and easy. So.
And then we could use the I want to talk about taking out. Let's see how much time we have here because we don't want to. Oh, we're good.
We're good.
1:11. We have time. So what I want to do is I want to take the embroidery design, take out that applique piece, and then cut out all my pieces prior.
Let's show that first. Oh, we still got the ScanNCut plug.
Okay, are you going to mark the center of the jacket? Are you going to show them how to mark? Or?
I'm going to show them how to mark.
Okay.
But why don't you show that first, and then I'll show my spot next, and we could do the chenille.
Okay, let's clear off some space. So I do need to get some material ready. Now I think we're going to go, we're not going with a gold star. Let's do with a red star. Okay, and we should have cut out. Oh, we could do more. We could do more. We could always do more. But I have one piece hot fix. So to do the chenille design, Sharon, the 7x12 hoop is sold $144, and Kate's trying to fix that right now. And you might even have to go out of your app and come back in. So we have one piece that is a 6x6 piece, and we are going to cut that one out. And we're just going to instead of tacking down our applique piece, we're going to just fuse it with the hot fix. So I have hot fix on the back, and we are going to use our fabric mat. Maybe. This is a fabric mat from the event. Those of you remember the trouble we were having because we didn't clean them after every use. But I'm going to go ahead and set this down on the mat first. John's handing me that Brother Brayer. It looks like I got a rhinestone on my mat. So I'm just going to take my brayer and really smooth out those edges.
And
do you think paper tape would work with this too?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it could, because the paper tape won't stick. Now don't put the paper of the hot fix on this. We have learned that the hard way if you were at the event. So, and it's really important you take good care of your mats. You'll get the longest lasting use out of them. So usually in between cuts, if you go ahead and wipe it down with an unscented baby wipe, it makes it last at the event. We didn't do that. We were in between classes, so we just did what we could to make it work. But
okay.
Yeah.
So I have my mat set up. I want to go back to my ScanNCut screen here. Okay. Now we are still on this, and I don't want this anymore. I'm just going to hit the home button, and it's going to say OK to delete all patterns. OK. Now we're going back to the flash drive again. Okay. I'm going to go to retrieve data. I'm going to go to flash drive. I'm going to go to Tommy John Event Designs. I'm going to go to Embroidery Designs. Okay, it's different. So we have the two designs on here, not the different sizes. I just wanted to keep this simple. The Chenille Americana design we are going to use. And I'm going to click on that, and it should be 3.5 by 3.5. There it is, 3.32 by 3.73. And I have my embroidery design on my ScanNCut, okay? I know this part gets confusing, so you might need to go back and rewatch this video while you try it yourself. I recommend that, and just pause it at my certain steps. So we have this preview up. We're gonna go ahead and hit the flower, and I'm gonna include instructions on how to do this part, okay? And then you can apply this to different embroidery designs, applique designs that you have. So I hit the flower. Now, because I have applique, or because I have featherweight hotfix on the back, I'm not going to change the size. I'm actually going to keep it the same size and use that tack down stitch as a cutting file, okay? And I'm not going to be using the tack down stitch. I'm going to be skipping that part, and I'm going to be fusing it to my material, and fusing it's like my tack down stitch, okay? So I'm going to keep it the same size. Now when we come back, we are going to change the size, okay? I'm going to click OK. I'm going to look for these stitches here, okay? You see this zigzag stitch up here, satin stitch, zigzag stitch. So you have a couple different options. You could, I feel like it's going to grab the outline on each individual part on this one. We don't want to do that. It's going to grab the outline of the satin stitch on this one, but we want to break apart the stitches, okay? Because I want to use that tack down stitch. So I'll click on the stitches, I'll hit OK, and I'm going to ungroup them, okay? And I know they're grouped because this button is highlighted, and it's a square with some shapes in it. That just means they're grouped. I'm going to ungroup it. So when I click Set, so I ungroup, click Set. Now I have my embroidery design in the top left corner here. I'm going to go ahead and just start clicking. Oh, so I clicked it and it's still grouped. So I have to click off to the side first. And then I can see I grabbed those chenille stitches. And we'll talk about how we're going to do that in a bit. But I'm going to go into the edit screen. I'm going to click my trash can to delete and click OK. So once again, let's do that again. So I'm going to find one of these stitches that I don't want. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go into edit. I'm going to go to my trash can, okay? And now I know that there is a placement stitch and a tack down stitch. And Judith, we'll get you those designs. Well, I'll email them right after the show. So we have the placement stitch and the tack down stitch, okay? I know it's there. I could click it and drag it and make sure that they're there. I'm going to delete one of them. Click delete. And now we're left with one shape. I know it's one shape because my arrows are grayed out. These boxes are grayed out. That means you only have one object. So Patty, this design is going to be on the Tommy John Spring Event design flash drive. And it's only $19.95. You get 2 embroidery designs. You get cutting files to use with vinyl. You get 5 rhinestone designs, maybe more. You get all the cutting files to do Best Flippin' Dad for Father's Day. And we're going to get these out so you can have them ready for Father's Day. Mm-hmm. So let's get back to the screen. So we have, that's our cutting file, okay? It's the same exact size as our placement stitch and tack down stitch. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to open up this part here. I'm going to grab my mat that had the fabric. I might even press my fingers on it one more time. I really like to put elbow grease into pressing this fabric down, making sure that fabric is gripping to that tacky of the mat. And I might even trim these off because this might give me some complications. I know on these black lines is where the black rollers are going to go. So take my mat over here, arrow pointing in. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the mat, or load this in by coming up here and click the load button. So I click this button. Oh, grab my finger. So the mat is sticky. But these black rollers, you can see how they kind of go over the black lines a little bit. So these frayed edges I was a little worried about, but I think it'll be okay. Now, I could scan again. I could also just click and drag this and use the grids on my mat, but I want to make sure it's accurate. So once again, we are going to scan our mat by clicking the scan button on this edit screen. If you're not on this screen, you might be on this screen, you go back. If you're in the edit menu and you don't see the scan button, just click OK. You want to look for this scan button right here. So we'll click scan. And then since our mat is loaded, this is highlighted green, we can click start. And it's going to scan our image into the background, and we are going to be able to place our cutout, our cutting file perfectly. And then we'll cut it out, and you can see it's going to be super quick. I mean, I'm going to even smooth it out as it's going into the machine just to make sure there's no complications. Now you look at the screen, you can see I have plenty of fabric to work with. Okay, I'm going to click OK. I'm going to select cut. Okay, and then I am going to click start. And everything's good. We're doing a full cut. We're doing speed 5, pressure auto. You could even slow it down if you're a little nervous, and you can make it go a slower speed to make sure that, you know, it's going to ensure the accuracy of your cut. Now, if we fuse this hotfix correctly, we're not going to have any frayed edges. If we didn't fuse it correctly and we didn't fuse it long enough, we are going to have a little bit of frayed edges, but it should be fine. It's under a minute to cut, and you can see it's doing just fine. Sometimes when it digs that blade in to sense the pressure, it might even go around twice, but it just went around once. I'm going to unload my mat. I'm going to click finish. I want to go back. I think I want to save this. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to click save on this screen. So where you scanned your mat, I want to save this for my next cutting files, and I'll save it to my machine. Okay, and it's saving. Just like your embroidery machine does, you're able to save designs. So M0008, click OK. I'm going to unload my mat by clicking on the unload mat button. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to peel it off. And I could have used the spatula. John had the spatula ready. So let me see. It does help. You see how I'm on a flat surface? It's hard to do it when your mat's all crooked. But look at that star. Perfect star. We're going to put it, where are we going to put it? We're not going to fuse it yet. We're going to have to take our flash drive to the embroidery screen. Mm-hmm. But
we could put it right here on the left chest.
We could put it right here on the left chest, and I think that's going to look great. Mm-hmm. Let's save this. Should I cut out all the pieces?
Well, since we're doing a chenille,
I'm going to cut out all the pieces.
Okay.
But you'll see, we'll have to change the size now, okay? We'll have to change the size. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut. Do we have a rotary cutter? I'm going to eyeball it. Well, let's see how many we can fit on this size. So how big is this? This is roughly like 10 inches minus the salvage. So about 10 inches here. I'm not going to put any hotfix on this one. I'm going to see how we do with just this on here. And we could do right side up, I believe, on this. I don't think it really matters. If you do right side up, I think you're going to not get so many. I don't know. Does anyone have a recommendation when you're cutting fabric, just fabric? Do you put it right side down or do you put it right side up? I think that's what we're going to figure out now.
I think you could do either way.
So I might even press this before it. Nah, let's just go for it.
All right.
I'm going to go for it. I mean, if it was really wrinkly, let's use that brayer to really get it on there. Uh-oh.
What blade do we have in the ScanNCut right now?
Oh, we're going to have to change our blade too. Thank you, John.
Fabric.
Yeah, let's use our fine fabric cutting blade, which I think is in. I may have replaced the blade to this one. That's what I'm worried about. But let's use our fine, like John said, let's use our fine fabric blade. I feel like I replaced the inside of the blade though. I'm wondering if that's going to cause a problem.
Is that the... Oh,
So-
I think I know. No, I think it's right, because I just... I was actually showing the ScanNCut this morning.
Where'd it
to
go?
a customer I was in store. Is it not in here? Oh,
We had it.
we did have it. I think I have another one over here, maybe.
Oh, here it is.
Or, oh, there it is.
There it is. So the difference between the blades, standard cutting blade, fine fabric blade. So the difference here is you can see the opening size. This fabric cutting blade has a smaller opening than this vinyl standard cutting blade. It's not a vinyl cutting blade. It's just a standard cutting blade. I bet we would be fine using it. Maybe we'd get more frayed edges, but we're going to use the fine one. And if I come over here to the ScanNCut, I'm just going to take my blade with the brother side facing outwards. I'm just going to drop it in there, and you see I did it a little twisted. Just drop it in, maybe a little tap on the top. You never want to force it, but I'm going to take this lever and lock it down. So we should be good. So, and yes, the blade holder matches the color of the mat, so you know that it's fabric. It's color coded. We know that this is the fabric mat. Let's go ahead and put this mat in now. I really hope this works. This is a beat up mat, so I'm going to load my mat in once again. Now, when we're doing the chenille, though, we have to have it going with the grain. Okay, so we can't rotate any of these when we're cutting them, right?
Yeah, so with the chenille, you got to make sure that you're on the straight grain. If you do it on the bias, which Gloria is going to definitely be talking about at 3 o'clock. This was one done on the bias, and you could see it just frayed way too much. So when you do it on the regular straight grain, it will look like...
Better. It
I
will
don't know
look
what happened
better.
to
It
her
won't
other
look.
fellow, but
She
you'll have
probably
to
has
tune
it.
in at 3, so to see Gloria design this.
Or we're going to tune in right now and see how it's different. But so, okay, we got our fabric loaded. I can see the grain of the fabric. It's looking good. I'm not going to be rotating it at all. Okay, so I'm going to go back up to my screen. I could even use this. I saved it to the memory if I accidentally went out, so I can pull it up again. I'm going to be using this, but we have to make it a tad bigger so it gets onto the tack down, or I guess it wouldn't matter.
No, I think for chenille, we want it to be a little bigger so it frays a little bit, right?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, let's make it a little bigger. Let's just be safe and make it a little bigger. We can always trim it. But this way, I'm going to be able to cut them all out. Like normally, if I had this piece, I'd say, oh, I need a 5-inch by 6-inch piece. I'm working with a, how wide is this? 7.5. It's crooked too, and it is 10 inches long. So let's go ahead and cut this out. So what I have to do is I have this selected, okay? I need to make this a tad bigger. So I'm going to click on Edit. Let's go back. I have this selected. Click Object Edit. We are going to go to the very top left button, and this is where you change the size. So now, let's try something. Oh, that's a little too big. What was on before? Maybe if I could, do you think it reverted back? Yeah, it reverted back. So if you didn't like that, don't click OK. Just click the X button, okay, if you want to revert back. So don't click OK. That's what I noticed is there isn't an undo button. So you can't undo the changes that you make here. But I could click X and just not go through with those changes. So if I increase this size 0.04 inches, which is approximately 1 millimeter, I believe. I might even do it a little more to be safe.
Why don't we go up to like 0.8, like 8.2?
Yeah.
That just gives us a little extra wiggle room, and then also fray a little bit more. It'll
Yeah.
look nice. That's what we want with that.
And we're going to
chenille.
test this out. We'll line it up with this one and see how much how off we are, okay? So I'm going to click OK. Now what I want to do, I want 3 layers of this fabric when we're doing the chenille, okay? So normally you would lay 3 layers of fabric over before you do the chenille. I'm going to click on this duplicate button, having this star selected. So here's duplicate. I'm going to click the 3 and hit OK. And now I have 3 of the same exact size stars. I'm going to hit OK. Now we want to scan in our mat to make sure we're cutting things out properly. So let's go to OK. We'll hit scan and then start. I think we're getting better with the ScanNCut. What do you think, John?
I think we are too.
I may have jinxed us though, so we'll see how this cut goes. Knock on
wood. So there is a little extension table in the back of the ScanNCut too. Whenever you're going over a table, kind of how we're going over edge here, you're going to want to make sure that's extended out, because if your mat is like going over the edge of a table and curving, it could kind of cause whatever's stuck to it to start to bubble and ripple up. So if you're doing on a nice big flat table like this, then you're good. But I always still pull out that little tray in the back, and we'll show that in a second. It just helps keep your mat supported. That way nothing's just leaning over it.
Yeah. And Melba, yes, we're going to be doing the chenille version, so we can't have hot fix or it won't fray. And we can't like iron it or fuse and it just look like a clumpy mess. So if you look at my screen, you can see I can barely see my cutting files. So we want to go back to that background transparency by clicking on the wrench on this screen. So now I'm going to make it semi-transparent. We're going to click OK. So now I can see my cutting files much better. Hey, that looks fine to me.
I like it.
Let's just keep it that way. I could have moved these around. I could conserve more fabric and save a little more fabric if I wanted to. But we're in a fabric shop and we waste fabric all the time, so I don't care. And that may have sounded a little snotty of me to say, because we are very privileged to be in a fabric store where we can waste fabric, and that we are so grateful for that.
Nothing ever goes to waste here, that's for sure.
So let's go ahead and start cutting these. So I clicked on cut, half cuts off, pressure auto, speed 5. I think we should be good. And now this is a very used mat, very used. Everyone at the event used this mat. We did not use the cleaning spray yet to clean these. I was going to run to Dollar Tree this morning, but we have a lot. We have a lot on our plate.
And so, you know what? There's different blades, and what I'm noticing, the fine cut I like the best when you're doing these sharp corners. I think the rotary might be a little bit nicer curved, and more delicate fabrics too, I'm noticing.
Yes. Okay, so curved pieces, maybe the rotary cutter is better.
Because there's 3D fabric.
Or maybe the opposite,
flowers.
because I know that whenever it's changing the angle, it has to go back to its starting position and like twist in here. Okay, before it moves on to the next angle. So maybe quite the opposite. Maybe
we gotta test this.
We gotta test this out. Look at that. We did it. Unload our mat. We're all done cutting. I'm gonna peel this off. And some of them I might need to snip the little threads that are still attached. Here, snip me. Okay.
And this is fine because we're doing chenille.
Yeah,
so
we want it to be frayed. Okay, there's 2. And then the third one cut fine. But how much bigger is it?
So I'm just comparing. As long as it's big enough to give us a little room.
That's okay, because it's not tacking. These aren't tacking down anyways. These are tacking down by a bunch of small lines, and we'll get to that. So let's get embroidery started. Okay?
Yes.
Let's do that. Let's get our thing hooped.
I'm first going to show real quick how to do and hoop the back of the jacket, if that's okay. Just while we're here, while Tommy's getting set up back here.
Should I do a different jacket? What jacket should I do? Or should I do
Why
it on
don't we
the apron?
do our jacket?
Should we do it on the apron?
We could do it on the apron.
Let's do it on the...
We designed it for the left chest, so it's a smaller design. But while we're here, I'm just going to show, so for the bigger design for the star on the back, to find the center of your jacket And we're also going to put that hoop real quick and friction pins in the lineup. So first what I'll do is I'm going to measure from the very edge of the seam right here where it ends to this end. And I'm just going to point one more time. So from right here to right here for the back of our jacket. I'm going to take this roller, and I did this so many times, I think if I remember correctly, this is going to be 10 inches. And I'm going to grab a friction pen real quick. And so friction pens, these erase with heat. They just iron right off. So they are a sewer's best friend. And I am at 10 1/4. So that would be 5 1/8. Honestly, if you had just did 5, you would be good. But that's going to be our center point of that jacket for the center back. So I'm not sure if we could see that, but I'm just pointing to it. That's going to be our center point. And then we are going to just line right up and just go straight down. So, oh, okay, that didn't really mark as visible as I wanted it to. I might have used this friction pen so much over the past few days, it might be out of ink here. So I might have to grab another one.
That's okay.
But we're just marking the center line real quick, and we can kind of see it now. So I'm going to borrow our little star for a second if we have one. And we're just going to pretend that this is going to be the big star for the back. So the big star for the back, that's just about 8 by 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's pretend we were even going to use the little star. So we have the top point and the bottom point. Now the bigger star that you'll get on that USB is going to be about that big. But we would go ahead and mark the top and then the bottom.
You're going to get a 10 by 10 star too.
They're getting a 10 by 10 star too. Oh my gosh. So they could do a really big one.
Yep.
And so that's cool. But you're going to mark that top and then the bottom. And the reason we're going to do that is because we're going to use this line when we hoop our jacket to kind of go in between those center points. That way that we're staying nice and straight when we line up the design in the machine. So from there, we mark that top and bottom, and then we'll measure, which is going to be 4 inches. So our center point would be 2. And right here is where, when we go over to the machine, we're going to line our needle up right over in this spot. And that way the design's centered. We're not just going to throw the jacket in because then our star might be over here. And we're so used to doing that a lot. But for the jacket to have it nice and centered, we're going to do it just like that. And now I'm going to show this hoop that I love. So we originally had the diamagnetic hoops in our class, which they just shifted a little bit because of the bulky seams. And don't get me wrong, I love our diamagnetic hoops, especially for edge-to-edge quilting. But this magnetic hoop here for doing a project like this jacket is super nice. So it has all these different little magnetic grips. And they're super strong. And these ones, this is a newer hoop. So these ones are thinner than the older ones that are a little bulkier. And if you did get your fingers caught, they kind of hurt. So I think I got my finger caught in one at brother training. I don't know if Tommy remembers that one, but I was just like, oh. So we just slid our hoop right behind it, and we're going to take our little ones first, and I'm just going to find the edge, and I'm just going to adjust a little bit right here. So, and I'm just trying to line up a little bit. So I'm doing the first two first, and then let's do one here and one there.
And you can notice as he was doing that, he was kind of like, you could take these opposite ones and kind of push it out towards the side and really make it nice and tight. You can see how tight it gets, and then it'll fall right into place.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So just like that, you're spreading out, and it's hooping really strong, even over those thick seams. Now, we did not use any stabilizer. This is a heavy denim. It doesn't stretch, And for the design, it's just a decorative stitch with the placement stitches. And because we're fusing down our design, it makes it really easy. But if you wanted to, you could go ahead and float a piece of tearaway behind it.
Yeah.
So,
or if you didn't have this hoop, sticky back.
mm-hmm.
And just right on top. That's what we're going to do with the chenille.
Exactly. And then I'm just
Design.
going to show one thing, if that's okay, on the machine, which actually is a nice little time to mention about it. So if you're looking at maybe upgrading to another embroidery machine, we have a ton of pre-loved machines here. So we have pre-loved Solarises, pre-loved Destinies. I don't know if we have any Altairs left, but I absolutely love the Solaris, which I'm just going to briefly show here real quick. So let's just slide in this hoop, and we're going to go ahead and pick this chenille star right here. Oh, could I borrow that USB? Or Tommy has it in the ScanNCut. So, okay, so we'll go to Tommy John. Let's go to embroidery designs, and we'll select the chenille star, and we'll hit set. And I'm just going to adjust the camera in a second, but there is a needle beam and a projector on the Solaris, which is really nice, especially when lining up a design. But if we go into embroidery and then we hit layout, we could go to move, and you have to do it in embroidery so that the hoop moves. Now, we can use these move keys and it will adjust our machine right here when we're using those move keys. Now, we could go ahead and just eyeball and try to hover the needle over it, but if we go on the machine and we tap right here at W, it turns on our little...
We got a camera right
yeah,
behind you,
you don't
John.
have to move the...
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I keep moving it, guys. So it turns on our little needle beam projector right there. So, and that's just for the little crosshair. And we could use that and fine point line up on that line right there. And then we could go to that center point, which is right there. And we would be perfect. So that would be centered exactly where we had that design. And you'll want to make sure you do it with the center point, actually, because that's the bottom point. So our center point would be right there, actually. But that's the importance of drafting that line. Now, you could also see it projected out if we use the little cone icon here.
Oh.
And it turns on the projector on the machine. And then if we select the red box that's on our screen, we could hover over and it will adjust the hoop and show what it's actually going to look like there. So I think that is such a cool feature on this machine. And if something ever came unhooped when you were embroidering a jacket, you could easily line right back up with that projector, which we did have to do a few times in the class, but everybody's jacket turned out perfect because of that. So if you are interested in a Solaris that's pre-loved, go ahead and feel free to give us a call at 412-344-2330, option 2. That will take you to Steve or John, myself. And if you want to schedule a demo, we are more than happy to. If you have any questions about the Solaris or even the ScanNCut, feel free to give us a call. So, yeah. But I guess we'll get into the fun part with embroidering the star. And we're going to do it on the left chest, actually. So we hooped sticky back. So I'm going to go ahead and take this hoop out.
I'll let you come through, Kate. Okay.
And I'm going to give this jacket back to Tommy.
Or are we going to use the one that we already junked up? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's just junk up the... Let's not take a good jacket. You think I'm okay to just go over these?
Oh, yeah. They are heat transfer, permanent glitter vinyl, and you can embroider right over those.
Yeah, let's just... it might not look that great.
Or maybe
we'll do our
it'll look
best.
cool. It's
Maybe
layered.
It might look cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just find the center of this and just put it down on my sticky back. And that should be fine. So I have my sticky back tearaway, and I'm just going to put this down here. I probably could have heated these up and scraped them off, but I'm not going to worry about that. I think we'll be fine here. John already has my flash drive in. I have my stars here. Let's just get to it, okay? And I might press this one so it's not flopping all over the place. Okay, and then we'll go over to the machine. And we'll start with our first stitch. And our first stitch is going to be a placement stitch. And we can use that projector and just... the little stars are on the USB. Yes. They're under the cutting files folder. So, whoa. I'm slipping around in this building. It's like we're on a hill. Okay. Should we use red thread? Should we use blue thread? Maybe we should use blue.
I got blue right here if you want.
What's so bulky right here? Why am I not able to get over this? I guess I'll go from the side. There we go. So, oh no. It's upside down. That's okay. Should I do it upside down? Yeah, I'll just do it upside down.
How upside down are we? Oh.
I mean, it's just...
Yeah, that's fine. Like
it's straight upside down.
Oh.
So I'm just going to go upside down. That's okay. The star won't look any different upside down. You might actually... I don't know. Kate might not prefer this because you can't see it because of the camera. But that's okay. Let's go. Let's put this back in the center.
While Tommy's doing that, I did see a comment a little earlier, I think from Jenny, about is there a label on them to know the difference between the blades? And I'm just going to briefly show this. So at the top of each of the blade holders is a different color. So they're kind of color organized. So the beige I know is the thin fabric blade. The black is the standard cut blade. And then I believe there's blue for the rotary. So they're color coded in that sense. And that's how you could tell the difference between them.
Okay, so I'm just going to set my design here. The Chenille Americana star. Okay. And you can see it fits in all these hoop sizes. It will fit in this 4x4 hoop. And it made it very easy to place my design. So let's go ahead and just go click embroidery. Now I'm just going to double check, and I could double check with the camera too. So we could take a picture of our hoop and we can click scan. So I hit the camera, then scan, and then it will say that your embroidery unit will move, your frame will move, and it's just going to take a small picture inside the hoop here. Some people prefer it this way, and you can see that looks pretty okay to me. All right, I'm not gonna fiddle with the positioning too much. I'm in the 4x4 hoop, so you can see I don't really have much room to work with anyways. I just kind of want to go over what exactly this is going to look like. So very simple here, okay? There's 4 total steps. So we have our applique position, and that's where we're going to kind of stitch out our guide of where we want to iron our star, okay? And then we're gonna be skipping this applique stitch. So I'm just going to go ahead and stitch this out. Should we use red or blue?
I say use red.
Okay, we'll stick with red. So I'll go ahead and click start. It's going to stitch my placement stitch. And it's saying that, do you think the glitter vinyl cut through it? Maybe, it's saying check upper thread, so I'm just going to try to redo this here. Uh-oh, I'm caught on something.
We're not using an anti-glue needle too for sticky back.
Yeah, could I use some snips?
So
that's okay. We'll just I'll rethread this, and I know someone might be upset how I just unthreaded the machine. Whoops, sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Normally they have you trim your thread up by the spool. I know the people at Baby Lock like to do that. and they recommend it. They trim up here and they pull down through. Let's just continue with this stitch. If we have the same problem, maybe our bobbin thread, there's something wrong with our bobbin thread. Is this a trade-in, John?
Yes, it is.
Has this been serviced yet?
Not
Fully.
fully.
Not fully. So this isn't fully serviced. When Zach looks at these machines, he makes sure that it goes through all the tests.
And say it's like a car inspection. He goes through so many little bullet points. He checks them all out. He does an amazing job when servicing them. So
he does a state inspection on your car. Emissions test. Okay. So I'm going to take it up here. I have my hot fix star. I'm going to peel off this paper back. So I have the hot fix side applied. And I wish my mom keeps saying, I want to learn this ScanNCut. I want to learn this ScanNCut. She's just way too busy to learn the ScanNCut. What's this?
That's the little mini iron.
Do you want
use the 4x4?
Do you want me to use this? Is it hot?
It is.
How do I know? What, wouldn't it be or it turns off whenever it's hot? Okay. So this is the most important part. If you are doing it this way, you really want to make sure this is lined up, okay? Now, it's not tacking down with a tack down stitch, but the decorative stitch that's going over it will tack it down, okay? And you want it to line up. I made the satin stitch very wide on this part, so I have faith that it's going to do okay. So I'm going to go ahead and fuse this down.
It's very important you're not like
Pushing
brushing
around.
the iron and moving it around, because that can cause it to be
I'm glad you grabbed this one because I have the small hoop.
Mm-hmm.
If you had the big iron, you wouldn't be able to do this.
So we also have that mini iron in that lineup too. So if you are going to use a really small hoop, I love this little mini iron. Just for doing in the hoop projects like in a 5x7 or even a 4x4, it's perfect for this, especially if you have to iron something the other way. So
I think I'm good enough. I think I did it enough.
Mm-hmm.
The tack down stitch should be fine. Let's go ahead and put this back in. So now it's going to do, we're going to skip our tack down stitch and we're going to do the decorative stitch that goes around, okay? We're just going to bring this into here. Make sure the hoop's going in. Oh, this part could be a pain. Get the big hoop. It's fine. Okay, so I have it hooped. I'm ready to skip my stitch, so I'll go over to this screen. Sorry, Kate. Kate has to man the camera and switch back from the computer. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to my needle plus minus, and then I'm going to hit the down arrow to skip to my decorative stitch. Okay? And some of you might want to end it right after this, and you might just like the applique star. So I'm going to go ahead and click start. And once I click start, it's going to do the decorative stitch. It says it takes about 3 minutes. It is a small design, but it's lined up right on that placement stitch. We're good to go. We didn't have to tack down and trim. We already did our trimming beforehand. And like I said, I've never tested out this design before. So this is the first time I've tested it out. When I digitize things and I go through it, small things like this, I'm pretty positive that it's going to turn out how I want it to turn out. But there are times where you digitize something and then you think that everything's good, and then you find out you accidentally had the density all the way up, or you accidentally didn't have the density higher and you have a very loose stitch, or maybe it was too wide or too thin. Stitching it out is always great. So I'm glad I could do this live to show everyone. I think it's turning out perfect. And it is kind of cool that you have these little bits of blue poking out. I think that's going to add a cool effect to it. You know what? We could have done like the placement stitch, and then before we fused our fabric, we could have made sure that we had the vinyl stars at each like point, and that would have been something cool to do. It's just with the ScanNCut, you could add this extra element of creativity to your projects you could add this, rhinestones to it and combine a rhinestone design along with this. Now you'll get a rhinestone outline, and we can actually outline this after we're done with rhinestones. But it might look a little too busy with rhinestones and all the glitter vinyl that's around the star. It might not. Maybe we'll use silver rhinestones. Then we'll look perfect. And maybe John, if you hear me, try to grab some paper tape.
All right, I'll find it.
Because the paper tape might help us with the next step. Sounds like John fell through the floor. Hopefully he's okay. Just gonna let this stitch out, and we'll move on. We'll move on to doing the chenille part, but we could take this out of the hoop.
Don't worry, guys. I am fine. That actually wasn't me that fell, but I grabbed some paper tape.
Yeah, so John's got the paper tape. I guess this might help. I might lay a piece down and just see. I've never done Kimberbell does this chenille.
Do all 3 pieces, and then
They do usually use 2 pieces. Do you think we should?
We're doing 3. That's what
Gloria recommends 3.
So needs a little extra to it.
So do you think that, is my mom out there still?
Yes, she is.
Bring her in here. Say Tommy summons
Gloria.
Yeah?
We're requesting you real quick. Your expertise is needed.
Okay,
So we pre-cut our stars a little bigger, okay?
yeah.
And we don't have a basting stitch that's going around the shape.
Okay.
We're wondering if we need to paper tape it down, or do you think we'd be good to just run the stitch and hold our fingers here?
You could run the stitch slow at first.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay,
Let's go to settings.
we're going to the settings.
Okay, page 8 of 12. And just to be sure, let's go down to 400. Okay.
So page 8 of 12 to change your stitch speed on the Solaris.
So usually I cut them afterwards. I baste it down and then I cut up to the star. But you're going to hold your fingers and be really careful. I mean, we could tape. Where's it going to sew first? Let's just
Right
see.
here. So yeah, she's
Right
going to skip
there.
through.
Yeah, let's just see. So there. So if we taped it up here, then it'll sew.
You think just do the point here?
Yeah, and do the other point too. Maybe have
One down here maybe? Or one across here?
definitely up there because it looks like it's not going to sew there for a while.
Now this part might have been easier to just lay the square pieces and you trim afterwards.
Yeah.
So
You think it's going to be easier doing this, but now look what you got to go through.
yeah, so this
And
is
they can shift. So I just want to see. I'm just going to jump up 100 stitches. So plus 100, and that. Okay, so it's going to stay down there for a while, and now. Then it goes up. Okay, so.
But it shouldn't. We shouldn't have a hard time ripping those tape out, right?
Right, when you see it go. So we'll go to the beginning.
But it looks like that
There.
stitch up there isn't going to grab the tape. This one definitely is.
Yeah. Well,
But just a little bit.
right,
It's not.
And so let's not worry about
Let's not worry about
it.
it. Let's
You're
just
supposed
do
to
it.
be able to sew through that tape.
Let's just do it.
Yeah, but-
Okay, so I'm going to
okay.
keep this flat
You
here.
better get your fingers out of there.
Don't sew your fingers, guys.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh,
see.
you're getting married tomorrow. Did you tell them about
No.
that? No, I'll tell you guys later.
What is it doing?
Oh,
That's
okay.
okay.
Yeah, so down one.
I went up
Okay.
instead of down. Wait, we
Okay,
got to
there
trim
you
her.
go.
We got to trim our thread.
Okay. Oh, this is gonna be cute. Okay. All right. Now.
Now I'll start.
Uh-huh.
And we'll just let it.
Try. I do have it really slow, just in case. That's how fast they used to sew, right? Remember everybody how when the machines were so slow. And I would imagine once you've done a couple rows And did you lift your foot higher, or it's
No, I didn't.
okay? Because it's riding. So the machines have an automatic sensor to sense how thick it is, and that's why it bounces down one hit down with the presser foot. That's the machine testing how thick the fabric is, and it knew how high to raise that presser foot. So I think you're gonna be all right, Tommy.
Don't jinx it.
Okay, we won't. You're yeah.
And does that channel look wide enough? Maybe one's gonna go to.
No, because I think you're all right. Yeah.
I think so too.
And yours is going to be easier than mine. Oh, wait,
Uh-oh.
where's it going now? Where's it going? Is it doing one in between? Yeah,
think
so
so.
stop there. I would, stop there because now it's too narrow.
Too narrow, you think?
I think so.
Well, why don't we give it a test out
Go
since
ahead.
we're already halfway in?
I was
So-
thinking you could skip. Well, if we feel like it's too narrow, stop it and skip
Mhm.
over a row. Yeah, there's no way it's going to fit in there.
So I'll have to fix the event people's designs. You don't think that it's gonna fit in there?
No, because I have a hard time even when it's wider because it has to kind of lift it.
Okay.
Yeah. So see where it's going next. You might want to, plus through a roast. Oh, you're probably okay there. Oh, it was gonna look so cute, but you got to fix it.
Yeah.
They got to be farther apart.
Farther apart. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe a full
The full width, like
skip that
every
one.
other row.
I'm wondering what happened because I swear it was different before. They do
Okay.
look closer together.
Yeah, and I think I have the narrowest of the chenille on. It comes with like these. I say it's like a mini cutting mat, and it comes with like 4 of them, one on and 3 other, or maybe just 3, and so it's for different widths of the fabric.
So that one we even need another stitch on the end there, I think.
Yeah, although it'll just fray.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think you're all right there.
But you're thinking it's
Yeah.
way too
I'm
narrow.
gonna go look for the package that a brand new chenille cutter, and let me see if there's a narrower cutter.
Okay.
So the narrower your rows are, the lower the.
So we got a new chenille cutter.
Yeah. Wait, we have one here, but I gotta find one new in the package and see.
Wait, I think I have them in here. I think I remember seeing them. Unless they're over by Joni.
Here's one. See, that one's wider. Here, we'll show them.
I think this is the narrow one.
Yeah, I think it's the narrow. So yeah, you might surprise me. Look how narrow that
That is very narrow.
Yeah,
That's
so you
very
might be
narrow.
okay.
This might look
We'll see.
cooler. It
Yeah.
might look cooler than
It would
yours.
look
Sorry.
cooler. Okay. Okay.
We'll see. How does this thing work? Oh, there's a
Even
safety.
Kathy popped in during the beginning of the show and said, "Oh my gosh, look at those rhinestones." She said, "I'm impressed."
Yeah.
Now, I do have this stitch here. Should I trim this out?
Sure. And you could always snip it with your squeezy snips.
We love
But
those
it's
squeezy
just-
snaps.
And I think
just-
whenever I go to cut this, it's going to cut that thread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll cut any threads.
But this
You
was this the one that you had on?
Yes.
And you were having a hard time though.
No, just because I had those basting stitches.
Maybe because.
And I had to snip those open and.
So I bet this would work. I mean, even cutting these stars out beforehand, I would make them even bigger. So there's a lot of room,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can trim it more if you want. But you're still conserving fabric if you're cutting it with the ScanNCut. You can position them specifically on.
Yeah, so you cut them out with the ScanNCut.
Mhm.
Oh, that makes it a lot easier.
So we're not trimming a whole
So I'm a
bunch.
little worried about that point.
I know.
that
Should I
it's
slow it down?
No, I think we're good. I think I was worried that it would fold it up, but
But
I
it's
think
still-
it took a couple stitches and held it down. So I think we're okay. Yeah, we're okay. Still worried about getting that cutter under there.
This thread is.
We will
really-
know in a minute. And then you can adjust it and then, email it to everybody that needs it? Or?
Yeah, the people in the event got this star, so they'll definitely need this.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going back to
Good luck.
placing orders. Okay.
So I just did see a comment come in. How does the fabric fray with hotfix on it? So the fabric that we laid on top does not have hotfix on it, because otherwise we would go to iron it and it would just fuse and it would be a big mess. So we only put hotfix on the bottom piece with the tack down stitch, and then the 3 layers of fabric that we see getting embroidered right now don't have hotfix on them, so that when we go to use the chenille cutter, it will fray.
I think she's right. I think it's going to be too narrow.
And
maybe if we get it started with a snip, though.
you know, we have our snips. We have those nice Kimberbell ones. We have our duck bells. So we'll give this a try. And
it still looks cool. The edges will fray. Maybe this is still going to look cool.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to fix it. I'll fix it for sure before we send these flash drives out. And people who are at the event, you're going to get an email. And then also, I owe someone some butterflies. Elaine, call the store, and we can double check for you if you're signed up properly. It looks like Zach might need to look at the thread cutter on this machine.
I got a question. John, how is your jean jacket you're working on coming along? I actually brought it here, Tommy, and I'm going to announce it on live. I don't know if we're getting entered in that competition.
That's okay.
It's almost done. Maybe in the next year.
Okay, so we can remove this from the hoop, right?
Yep.
I'm just going to peel this tape off, too. Tape came off easy. It was a good placement of the tape. Sticky back tear away. Just slowly tearing it away. Make sure we don't rip any stitches. But that's pretty good. Okay, let's give this a shot. Where's those snips? I know I'm going to need them. Yep. Just too narrow. Maybe if I snip it first. Nope, too narrow for the stitches.
Why don't we try with duck bells real quick?
Just the duck bill going like this?
Yep. There we go. Look at that.
That's a way. That's a way to do it. Not as easy as those chenille cutters, but...
Well, yeah, we'll definitely make it bigger, but we want to give them and let them see what it's going to look like. And we also have the chenille brush. So...
I'm not sure if I got through every layer there. How do I check that? Oh, I did. But how much should I cut here before we start using the chenille brush?
Let's just do like another layer, and then we'll show them how to do the brush. Maybe Kate should show how to do the brush, because I think you've seen this done more than Tommy.
Yeah, Kate, you know how this is done?
Kind of.
All right, Kate, I think you got to show the brush.
If you want to. Do you want to?
For being honest, I don't think Tommy and I have done chenille before.
No, clearly not. But, I mean, what do? You just brush it?
Do you brush long ways?
Well, some people say you should wet the fabric first before brushing it. And
Should I spit on it?
Fluffy.
I don't think you should do that.
Oh, that is working, though. You can see how I'm brushing it.
Look at that. Now it's starting to come to life.
Yeah.
Maybe we could still give them this one if they want a fine chenille version.
Yeah, we'll give you 2. We'll give you this option, and we'll label it fine. Fine. We'll have it say fine somewhere in there. And look, the little fibers are coming out. I want to keep going. I want to keep doing this. This looks really cool.
Do that. I wanted to show a couple.
Yeah, you talk about
quick.
products.
So, all right. Well, Tommy's doing that over here. I did want to pull back in. So today is that last day with that 10%. I would use that to your advantage. So I do have the dime rhinestone kit. So this is the dime rhinestone starter kit. So we have 3 that we're showing. So there's going to be the dime versions and then the Tommy John. So, but with the dime version, you get the lifting tape, which is the same heat transfer tape that we showed a little bit before in the video. You also get the rhinestone flock. It's pink, so it's not the blue one that Tommy and I have, but it's the exact same. So I'm just going to kind of peek it out there. But then with their Rhinestone starter kit, look at these beautiful rhinestones that you get. You get the Aurora Borealis crystals. They're iridescent. They're just beautiful. And they work the same way as the rhinestones that we have in ours. So I absolutely love these. I can't wait to see what people might make. And if you are going to do some cool rhinestone designs, please share those in the Facebook group. I love scrolling through and seeing all the projects that you guys make, whether it's IQ Designer or a jelly roll rug or a quilt. So please share in the Facebook group. I just absolutely love seeing how creative you guys are.
And share your tips too.
Yes.
So I like seeing those.
So that's the Dime Rhinestone Starter Kit. And then I have the Pearl Starter Kit. And you guys got to see how beautiful these pearls are. So if you didn't see last night, the pearls are absolutely stunning with all the different colors you get. And these work the same way as the rhinestones. Just the only difference is they are a little bit bigger in size. So these are SS16 and the rhinestones are SS10. But let's just like look at how beautiful these pearls are. And you have pink, beige, black. You have this first type of gold. You have silver, gunmetal, a deeper gold, and then you have pearl itself. And I would love, love, love to do something with pearls and maybe like an IQ Designer pillow, maybe the next cruise. So we'll think of something fun. But these pearls are absolutely beautiful, and it is 10% back into your account today, so I would take advantage of that. But then up next, we have our starter kit. So let's see.
Tommy, they said scrub the fabric up and down in the direction of the cuts.
Okay. Yeah, I am doing that. Luckily I am doing that. I did do side to side one time. I don't know. How does this look? Let's take a, what do you think? What do we think of that?
Oh my gosh, I like that.
I do like it.
I like the fine version. That's really cool.
Yeah, let me go.
We got to give them both. We'll give them a wider one.
Yeah.
And then the fine one.
Fine one, wider one. Let me go show Gloria.
So, for the Tommy John starter kit, you're going to get, what was it, 10
grams.
10 grams each of what we call real faux rubies, diamonds, and sapphires. So I can just show a little bit of these. Maybe not without them going everywhere. So, but it is these very beautiful diamond, ruby, and sapphire. I was trying to get those out of the way before Tommy comes back in. But, so you get 10 grams of each, right? So 30 grams total of rhinestones. You'll get 5 pre-cut 6x6, right?
6x6.
Of the mini flocks, and then you'll get a cut of the large flock for the big design on the back.
12x12.
12x12. And then you also get a few strips of our glitter heat transfer vinyl.
You get 8 total, 4x12. So two of each color, so 4 colors total. And you get silver, gold, blue, and red.
Are these rhinestones the same as the event?
Yes.
Yes. So,
Same as the event rhinestones.
and these are all SS10, so it's the exact same size as the dime rhinestone too. So you could use these designs with the dime rhinestones if you wanted. I definitely recommend getting the USB too. That way you get all the fun designs.
Patty, here's the Chenille rotary cutter blade. But you can compare the two. So I'm going to give one that's more similar to Gloria's and how hers looks. And then there's mine, the very narrow version. So I'll try to do the wider version. I just got to measure her stitches, how far apart they are. And then look at this one.
I kind of like the narrow one if I'm being honest.
I don't know. It's personal preference. And if you like it fuzzy, I think I like this one though. Because you can kind of, I don't know. We'll see how this one turns out though. Because hers is really frayed because it's been a while since she did this, right? So we'll see how it turns out. How do we get the refund from the brother starter kit?
we're gonna have to go through
Yes,
those. I'm going to be refunding all of those today.
Oh, I don't have a mic on.
And then if you want, you could go ahead and order one of the dime ones. So I'm just going to go ahead and refund those today. So sorry about that. Unfortunately, they got discontinued and we're not able to get those in at all.
Not even the activation card for the making the designs.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that will change in the future.
Maybe coming up here. So, all right. We have a couple other things that we wanted to show, right?
This? It's right there.
The chenille cutter. So,
oh, let's start at the top. Go up. Let's go. We showed ScanNCut. Let's talk about the ScanNCut. ScanNCut SEX 325. This is without Disney. We have the price $749.99. You're going to get over 600 different designs you could work with this. It has quilt blocks that you can cut out, and it adds seam allowance to it. It's incredible. We have to cut those out, and you would lay your fabric down on the fabric mat to, if you want to make a quilt block, an extravagant quilt block, and you don't want to cut out all those little triangles, those little squares, it will do it all for you. So that's unbelievable that it does that. We do have the Disney version that you can, if you're local and you want to come pick it up, we can't ship those. We can just do the STX 325. We can ship those ones. The Disney one is a little pricier, about $150 more. And it's just an amazing machine. I'm really pleased with the Brother ScanNCut, and I've been looking into Cricuts, and I think I'm biased because we sell the Brothers, but I like being able to scan that mat and see exactly where you're putting the cutting file instead of putting, working with a grid, or working from the computer and no screen at all. So call us if you're interested and you have more questions about it, or if you have a different model and you want to compare some specs and see what else there is that goes along with it. And then the next product is the spatula and hook set.
Yeah, so the spatula and hook set, this is the box that it comes in, and I think I have the hook down here in the ScanNCut. So these are your weeding tools, and they're really important, especially when trying to lift up those different layers of vinyl or whatever's on your mat. It just definitely helps. So I definitely recommend getting a set of these. These do not come with the machine. You get a little mini plastic spatula that comes with it, but I like the bigger metal one a lot better. It's way easier to use. So, and I did want to add on what Tommy said. So comparing to other brands like Silhouette or Cricut, you cannot scan what you have on your mat. You have to take a picture, connect it to your computer, send it over, and then also make sure you're lined up in those grids. I could honestly take whatever I have on this mat. I could even slap it down crooked if I wanted to. And then I can scan it in and rotate my design so that it's nice and aligned. You don't have to be perfect, and that's what I really love about the ScanNCut, is that it's very beginner friendly. So yeah, you really can't beat it, especially at the price. Let's talk about those designs one more second. You have over, I think, 700 built in on the 325, and I think it's about 1,000 with the Disney version, built into the machine itself. Other brands, you have to go and buy those cutting files, those line designs, and some of them, they charge like $2 a piece. Somebody was telling me that. That's ridiculous to spend that much money on a machine and then also have to buy all those files. The ScanNCut, it's all built in. So that's really nice that it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we had the spatula, the ScanNCut. What's next, Kate?
The roller.
The roller. So once again, you're going to want to get one of these. That smooths all those air bubbles out of whatever you have on your mat. If you have air bubbles when you go to cut something, it can misalign your cut. So using one of these rollers or a brayer is super important to have, just because it gets all those air pockets out and you'll have a perfect cut every single time. So.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention the software. That Canvas Workspace comes with the purchase of the machine. So you'll get Canvas Workspace on your computer too. So if you did want to work from the computer, you still have that option. Mm-hmm. And you can make your own designs. And you can actually scan that background image. You can send it to your computer. And if you want to cut out a specific flower on a fabric, you can do that from Canvas Workspace and just set up specific points around that cut and send it right to your machine, right where your fabric is placed. It's unbelievable.
Yes, so also we have this beautiful Brother Blue duffel bag. These are dealer exclusive, so you can really only get one from us. And if you are going to take your ScanNCut and travel around with it, I definitely recommend getting a duffel bag or even just a storage bag, because everybody tells me I'm limited on space. I have all my sergers, my machine set up. So sometimes if you have to swap out your ScanNCut for your serger, it's nice to have a little storage bag to put it in. And then also in here, we have a couple different things. So,
Couple.
So we already did show that. So that's a duplicate. But we have the rotary auto blade kit. And what I showed a little bit earlier is if you go on Canvas Workspace online, there is an activation code with the rotary kit that comes in this specific one. You can buy the blade and holder separate, but I recommend getting the kit because you actually get designs with it. So you get an activation card for 63 rotary designs. So, and I think some of those are going to be...
So you were right. Look how they're like more curved.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense.
So yeah, because we could see the curves like on this balloon, the elephant ear. So I think the rotary cutter is going to be the best for curves.
Oh, okay.
That way it's less angled cuts. And I think the fine cut blade is best for those angled cuts.
So when you're doing sharp angles is whenever it has to go back to the top of the mat and change the angle of the blade. But with a curve, I bet it just slowly curves with it. You know, we'll have to try that out.
And then we also have the vinyl auto blade kit up next. So in this one, you could buy the holder and blade separate, or you could get the kit and you actually get the activation card for the tiling function and the weeding box function with also 21 patterns. So, and this is different from the other blades. This one, if you're doing a lot of vinyl stuff, and we can see here, you have very fine, delicate cuts. You're going to want this blade because we could see how fine all those cuts are. So it's really cool. And then also up next, I was showing this morning a little bit while talking about it. And Tommy talked about it. It's the universal pen holder. And then I also have the pens right here on the side. Maybe I don't. Maybe they disappeared. Nope. You can actually draw with your ScanNCut too. And Tommy with Gray did Lightning McQueen on the Disney one that's built in. That's super fun to be able to draw with it. But you could also do art. You could do greeting cards. There's so many different designs. And it's really fun to be able to do that. And then I also have the fine cut fabric blade and then the holder as well. So like we just said, if you're doing those sharp angles, you're going to want to get one of these. It's just really good to have, especially if doing those more precise cuts. So, and then Kate, do we have these in the lineup? Okay, I joke about this all the time, and I joked about it at the event. We were all fighting for the one screwdriver that we had, Tommy, Cindy, and I, in our room to change needles and stuff. So always, always, always get an extra screwdriver. I do have the Brother version right here, and I don't have the Baby Lock version because I lost it, and I didn't go grab another one. So I do mean that when I say I've lost every screwdriver here. But I really love this one because you can adjust the angle, you could tighten your hoops with it, and you could see, so that fits perfectly for tightening your hoops. I definitely recommend getting an extra one of these. They are just amazing. So, and then I also have, whoopsies.
My phone's not broken.
I also do have these screwdrivers too. These are made here right in America. So there is the thinner one here that I'm going to show first. And you can use this to tighten your needles, and this works with low shank machines really well. A lot of people asked about these since they were in Kathy and Mary Lou's room. And you could use this to change your feet, your needles, so it's really nice. And also I have the bigger one, which is used for the high shank machines. So this works perfectly with taking that embroidery foot off, the Solaris. I like to have one of every screwdriver around just because they are just, you can't have enough screwdrivers. I can't stress that enough. So, But yeah, and then did we want to just go over the jean jackets real quick? So I know we showed these last night, and I think we have a couple left in stock. And don't forget, it is 10% back. So we have 2 different brands, and there's Blue Age. And this is a very more fitted jacket. So just what I have here. So if you like your jackets to be a little bit more snug and fitted, I would go with the Blue Age. And then we also have the Red Label, which Tommy's grabbing right now, I think. That one's a little bit more looser. It's kind of almost more of like a men's fit. It's just there's more ease to it. So if you like a looser denim jacket, I definitely recommend getting one of those ones. And you want to get the whole kit. And then you could do the jacket that we did here at the spring event. So yes, this is the Red Label. So this one is an XL, which would probably fit Tommy a little bit better than me. I'm about like a medium small on certain things, so.
Yeah, I got my apron on, my jean jacket on.
I think, the best flippin' dad of the year award goes to Tommy here.
It looks good. I mean, it feels good. It doesn't look that bad. I think I would wear it. I don't know. I think I like a little darker blue. But I'm not a woman, so I have different taste.
Mm-hmm. And then let's talk about the fall event for a second. So we finally just got dates, and
gosh, is that right? 62 spots left?
I think that's throughout the 3 sessions. So they're selling out quick. I had somebody call me on the phone yesterday. Actually, Joy, since I see you in the chat, and she said I could share it with everybody. She pulled over on the side of the road the second we announced the fall event was available, and she started checking out to make sure she could get her date in. So you're going to want to sign up now. Those spots are going to go so quickly here over probably the next week or 2. And I definitely recommend signing up. We always have fun at all of our events, no matter what. People raved about our room. So
yeah. I mean, it's
all the rooms are always.
It's
fun.
really cool. I was kind of surprised that other people don't do events like us.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, they all must make tons of things. But from what I've heard is that, you're not making 4 or 5 different projects within 2 days. So I guess there was a intense work for the some classes. Ours was a little more laid back, but we think about these projects and we really want to show you everything we have to offer. We really want to cover a lot of different techniques and a lot of different features we have with our machines. Mm-hmm. So you're really going to learn some things if you have a Baby Lock, Bernina, or Brother, and you're going to walk away with projects that you love. And I really like how we the past fall event, we kind of tried to stick with a theme, Mm-hmm. I want the fall theme, that's easy to guess what that's going to be. But I'm really excited to see how our projects are going to come together and see everyone posting them on the group. And they just like all fit a theme and they all match together.
Exactly. And you walk away with 4 fun projects over those 2 days. And, you know, like Tommy just said, we usually have like for each day, one project that might be a little bit more intense, a little more hands-on, but it's super fun. You get something that you're super satisfied with. And then you have a little bit more of a laid-back project. So that's a little bit just super easy and fun.
And I'm going to call the Gateway Clipper. And we might do something special, like, and this might be a separate sign-up, but I'm going to try to go. The Gateway Clipper is a little cruise vessel down here in Pittsburgh that goes around the rivers and takes you a tour around the city and has a nice captain's dinner where you can have dinner and we can all be in a group. And I'm going to try to get that set up. So
that would be super fun.
Yeah, we'll have to get a party bus or something.
A party bus.
And we'd have to charge an extra fee for the people who want to attend that. Mm-hmm. So I just have to get that figured out before we...
The after party.
Well, it would be like your first day of classes that night, you know? Mm-hmm. And then
maybe the second night we come back to the store. And that's not set in stone yet with that, but that sounds really fun.
It does.
I think that would be really fun. And if you aren't from Pittsburgh, I mean, we have so many sites here and attractions. We have 3 rivers. What other city has 3 rivers that meet each other.
Not
so
many. Not many.
I don't think there's another city in the world that does.
There is. There's
Is there?
one there. I think in Europe, but I could be wrong about that. Like the Rhine River. No, I forget what it is. There is somewhere. There is a city kind of looks like Pittsburgh. I don't know where it is.
Well, they're
There's
copying us.
they're
So
copying
they're not us in Pittsburgh here. So
But it's really cool to go around the river, and hopefully we can get that set up. I might call them today and just check their schedule. But yeah, what's next? Is there anything next?
we do
Call
have
in
a-
if you want to. If
Ooh,
you're
yeah.
attending with friends too, and you want to make sure that you're in your friends group, let us know so we can get everyone in the same class, or try to pair you up with your friend.
Exactly. And you know what? We're more than happy to make sure that you get to sit with your friends. And if there is somebody that, you met at this past spring event and maybe you want to try to get in on the same date as them, you could also reach out to
Here,
us.
scroll down a little
So-
bit, Kate. I want to see how many are left for each section. Not on that. You have to scroll down on them. Yeah, you're good. So it looks like
The middle
we're
session sold out.
middle
So-
session, October 22nd to 23rd. It looks like that might be sold out. But we have the 20th and 21st, which is available. At 29 spots open for that. For October 24th and 25th, we still have 31 spots open for that.
And the 22nd through 23rd is completely sold out. So, wow, I'm surprised. Like, I'm not surprised.
Thank you, everyone.
They go, thank you. You guys had such a fun time with us. I mean, you know what? You're going to have a great time coming up. We got to outdo ourselves again.
Yeah. So it is. We got 30 minutes till Gloria starts her show. So I think we gotta do these
we'll
last
speed up
two.
real quick. So these are the last 2 things we want to show that could work with our jacket. So this is a 10 by 10 cut layer cake of the Americana fabric, and this works perfect with that 8 by 8 design. If you wanted to put that hot fix on the back of it for the star, and you have all the different fabrics that we used.
Or just regular applique. So you get your placement stitch and your position or your positioning and tack down stitch. So you could do it regular applique if you don't have a ScanNCut.
Yep, and then we also have the Charm Pack 2, which that could definitely work with the chenille design.
Mhm.
So, because you have different
That would have been easy.
reds, yellows, blues. So, yeah. So, but definitely, we had such a fun time with you guys here today. If you have any questions with a machine, fall event, feel free to give us a call. So we're more than happy to answer, and I hope that everyone's having a wonderful Friday here. Make sure that you come back in a little bit for Gloria. She is going to show her awesome bench pillow, and she's also going to show her way of doing the chenille too. So make sure that you tune back in.
Okay, one more thing about the boat for the river cruise. I know they're underway for like 2.5 hours. Does that change how you feel about the river cruise? It is still fun. They have bars on the boats, good food.
Good food.
DJ.
Fun happy hour, maybe.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll look into that. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Gloria will be on at 3 o'clock for IQ Designer for this pillow.
Alrighty. Well, everyone, have a happy Friday. Thank you for joining us. So.
Goodbye.